Now, what are some symptoms of vitamin D excess? So if you're not testing and you're just doing a lot of vitamin D, well, you may have high levels of calcium. You may notice hypercalcemia. So if you run a comprehensive metabolic panel, you may see high levels of calcium. You may also notice you're more nauseous, you're vomiting, you're weak, a lot of urination, bone pain, kidney issues, calcium stones. If you're having any of those symptoms and you're not really monitoring your vitamin D, you may want to just double check on that. I've also seen clinically that vitamin D toxicity happens less when you have other fat soluble vitamins present. So if you're noticing that, you may want to back off a bit and you may want to really focus on getting good vitamin A and good vitamin K in there as well, just to make sure you're not creating a fat soluble vitamin imbalance. I think is a really good kind of thing out of the gates.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Oh, a couple other things I wanted to mention. This was at the top of the paper you and I were looking at. You already mentioned like
Mm-hmm.
benefits for autoimmune diseases like MS, but also in regards to just helping with epigenetic switching. So, I'll just read it
Totally.
here because it's pretty simple. Vitamin D is a powerful epigenetic regulator influencing more than 2,500 genes. So what that tells me is you and I, seriously, we don't even fully understand what all this benefits. I mean, we have a clue based on knowing how many genes it can positively influence, but who knows? You don't know what you don't know. So how many other beneficial things are we doing that science hasn't even uncovered yet? Probably a ton.
100%, right? So when you talk about the different epigenetic signaling that can happen, that's pretty powerful, right? Because we know that I think 800, 900, it's a bunch of different DNA, a bunch of different genes are being affected. And so it's important. We don't know all the things that could be affected, but we do know that if you get your vitamin D levels up, you don't really have to worry about everything that you're doing. That's kind of the important component there. You don't really have to worry about it. You just got to make sure that you're doing the right thing and you're set and you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, I've got my grandfather testing his now.
Anything
Luckily,
else you
his
want to highlight there, Evan, on that?
well, I've got my grandfather. He's been on vitamin D for several years now, and I've got his doctor to the point where he doesn't question it anymore. He just runs it. So we've got him up. We just got his blood work back. He's up around 60, and he's doing 5,000 units a day, and he's hanging out around 60. It took a little while to get up there, so we did 10 for a while, and then now we're just staying at a baseline of 5 a day, and he's doing great with it.
That's great. So can you repeat the dose again?
Yeah, we had him at 5,000 a day. For a while, we went up to 10 because he was only at around a 30 or a 40. So we went up to 10 for a little while, and then we backed him down. So now he's at a 5. So we went 5 up to 10 for a while. Now he's at a 60. So now we're just going back down, sticking with a baseline of 5,000 a day with K. And it's working really well.
So with my kids, they get some vitamin D out of the gates every single day, which is helpful. And then we make sure they get some cod liver oil. And then they're also getting some really good fat soluble vitamins via ghee and such like that. And so out of the gates here, anyone that's supplementing their kids or their family or friends, just make sure you're getting other good fat soluble vitamins along with the vitamin D. And you're going to be pretty darn safe out of the gates. And I would say at least try to do some kind of testing going into the winter and or coming off the winter just to make sure you're on track.